DoorDash for dinner with us. This is our new series where we're gonna DoorDash, and whatever we make doing DoorDash we can spend on dinner. Okay, our first one was to Raising Cane's for $14 and 5 miles. I just picked up the food, and now we're gonna go find the house. Okay, order one was dropped off for $14.50. Now we're a little bit out of our zone for the area, so we gotta get back into the zone so we can start getting more orders, and then we'll see what we get.
Nas Hannah is back on TikTok. Yes, you heard that right. After all the backlash she and her husband faced for the way they treated their son, many thought she'd stay away from social media for good. But no, she seems pretty comfortable back in the spotlight. Only this time, she's switched things up. No more influencer mom content. Instead, she's all about herself now. Bar classes, app promotions, and doing DoorDash runs with her husband. But even with this rebrand, there's still one question that lingers. What's really going on with her kids? We still don't have clear updates on the investigation that was reportedly opened against her, and maybe that is why she's keeping her son off camera. Could it be a condition of the investigation? A way to protect him? And this is the unsettling part. Does it mean the mistreatment hasn't stopped, just moved behind closed doors? Because let's be honest, Hannah never really seemed to acknowledge the issue. She never took accountability. If she did not think she was in the wrong, then why would we assume she's changed now? Her return to TikTok did not just come with new content, it also came with a new strategy. She now manually approves comments before they go public, which explains why most of the ones that do make it through are neutral or supportive. This move ensures she controls the conversation surrounding her, blocking out criticism and curating an illusion of support. By filtering out negative feedback, she creates an echo chamber where her audience only sees what she wants them to see, whether that's a positive portrayal of her or promotional content that benefits her financially.
Well, after this experience, I can safely say I will never do Shipped. I'm doing household items first, and of course I got the wonky part.
One of the things she's been aggressively pushing is an app called Playful, marketed as a way to play games and earn money. But the reality, it's essentially an MLM, multi-level marketing scheme. Instead of simply playing and getting rewarded, users are encouraged to recruit others to join, making the app profitable primarily for those at the top, like Hannah herself. While some comments claim they've made money, we have to take that with a grain of salt, especially considering she manually selects what feedback is visible.
You are so welcome. I am so happy that it worked out for you. Now, I know some of you guys are a little bit disappointed that you didn't make as much money as you thought you were going to, but I'm really happy that some of you really did well on this. And as always, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to tag the account in my description, and the link to it is in their bio. And as I've mentioned it in the past, the fastest way to make good money on this app is by playing multiple games at one time. For example, I've been testing out 2 different games this week. One's for $107 and the other one is for $267. But the nice thing is that they pay you as you go and get to each new level. So just this week, I've already cashed out to $150. But yeah, once again, I'll tag the account to it in my description, and then the link to it is in there. $1 in 1 week is so good. If you're making $90 a week on this, that's an extra $360 a month. That's a lot of money. And as always, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I recently posted about this app on your phone where you get paid to test out new games. And if you're interested in this, the account is tagged in my description, and the link to it is in their bio.
It raises a major red flag. How many people are actually benefiting versus how many are just funneled into another scheme that ultimately profits Hannah? Beyond the app promotions, Hannah's financial situation has raised even more questions. Despite still earning from TikTok, she and her husband have resorted to working as DoorDash drivers, something she has openly shared in her videos.
DoorDash for dinner with us. This is our new series where we're gonna DoorDash, and whatever we make doing DoorDash we can spend on dinner. Okay, our first one was to Raising Cane's for $14 and 5 miles. I just picked up the food, and now we're gonna go find the house. Okay, order one was dropped off for $14.50. Now we're a little bit out of our zone for the area, so we gotta get back into the zone so we can start getting more orders, and then we'll see what we get. Well, we're literally in the red zone for DoorDash. On the app it says if you're in the hotspot, the red zone, and we haven't had any other orders pop up. Usually orders pop up and you can decline them or accept them as they come in. Literally nothing has even popped up. All right, well, unfortunately, I think we're gonna tap out for now. We'll go eat dinner, and then, I guess maybe we'll turn the app back on when we're done with dinner and see if we can get anything else. But all right, well, just kidding. As I said that we were ending our DoorDash, another order popped up for $8. It's 2 different restaurants. One's like a drink place and one is the food. So we just gotta pick up both orders and take it to the same person. I think it's the same person.
There is nothing inherently wrong with using gig economy jobs to supplement income. But given their situation, it sparks an even bigger concern: what's happening with their children while they're out making deliveries. Hannah has previously made some unsettling statements about her approach to parenting, statements that make it hard to believe she would hire a babysitter or ensure proper care for her kids. She once refused to buy her son a winter jacket because it was too expensive, openly admitted to delaying diaper changes unless it was an absolute necessity, and even locked him in a room for hours. These past incidents create a troubling context. If she's out delivering food for extra cash, are her children left unattended? Is history repeating itself behind closed doors?
This one's mom's water. So I cleaned the house for 3 hours, so I get to have this.
And then there's the question of motivation. Is this financial hustle simply a way to make ends meet, or is it tied to something deeper? Some speculate that the investigation into her parenting might have affected her ability to secure traditional nursing shifts, forcing her to find other sources of income. If that's the case, then her desperation to maintain financial stability might be pushing her into more questionable ventures, from promoting potentially misleading apps to taking on unpredictable gig work at the cost of her family's well-being. And all this just to make a few more dollars on DoorDash? It's unsettling to think about what might be happening behind the scenes, especially when so many unanswered questions remain. Even after all the backlash, Hannah is still pulling in views. A recent video where she hinted at big news hit nearly 1 million views. And what was the news? She got a new travel nurse assigned in New Mexico. People watched out of curiosity. They wanted to know what she had to say. But here's the thing: every view puts money in her pocket. Whether people are hate watching or just keeping tabs, they're still helping her earn. And that is what makes this so frustrating, because the more engagement she gets, the more she benefits without ever taking responsibility for her actions. The cycle of controversy and curiosity keeps her relevant. Viewers who claim to disapprove of her actions still end up giving her attention, which translates into income. And while some might argue that she needs the money for her family, let's not forget, she still hasn't shown any remorse or accountability. She is strategically navigating this situation to maintain her influence while dodging the elephant in the room. Her ability to capitalize on scandals is nothing new. Many influencers have leveraged controversy to keep themselves in the public eye, knowing that outrage fuels engagement. And Hannah, she's playing this game well. The more people discuss her, the more they contribute to her earnings, even if they don't intend to. The question is, at what point do people stop fitting into it? With this new travel nurse assignment, does this mean she will be spending more time away from home? If so, what does that mean for her children? Is this another move to shift focus away from them, or just another way to generate content that keeps her audience watching? But beyond the content game, this move raises deeper concern. Travel nursing typically requires long shifts and extended stays in different locations, meaning she may be away for days or even weeks at a time. If her husband is still juggling gig work like DoorDash, that leaves a significant gap in childcare. So who exactly is taking care of their children? Moreover, her decision to take this job at this specific time feels strategic. With the ongoing investigation and public scrutiny, a move out of state could complicate matters, possibly making it harder for authorities to track her situation. If her social media presence has taught us anything, it's that she's intentional about what she shows and what she hides. Could this be another way to avoid accountability while maintaining financial stability? Ultimately, Hannah's ability to keep people invested in her story, whether through controversy or carefully curated life updates, continues to work in her favor. And as long as people keep watching, she'll keep profiting, regardless of the concerns surrounding her past actions. Some might argue that Hannah is trying to be better, that keeping her kids off social media is a step in the right direction. But let's be real, true change starts with accountability, and we haven't seen that from her. She never addressed the controversy, never acknowledged the concerns people had. Instead, she's acting like none of it ever happened, as if removing a child from the public eye is enough to erase the past. This isn't just about optics, it's about responsibility. If she genuinely wanted to improve, she could have openly addressed the concerns, reassured the public about her child's well-being, and taken actionable steps toward change. But instead, she's rebranding, shifting her focus, and hoping people will forget. And unfortunately, many do. And here is where it gets even more concerning. Remember Ruby Frankie? The mommy vlogger from Utah who ended up facing 60 years in prison for child abuse? When people first started questioning her parenting, she also stopped featuring her kids in her videos. She rebranded her content. People assumed that meant things had improved. But behind the scenes, the abuse had only gotten worse. It wasn't until one of her children escaped and got help that the truth finally came out. Now, we're not saying Hannah is doing the same thing, but that's a reminder that just because something isn't being filmed doesn't mean it's not happening. Sometimes it just means it's being hidden better. Think about it. If she genuinely had her child's best interests at heart, wouldn't she want to clear the air? Wouldn't she want to prove she's changed rather than simply deleting the evidence? It raises more questions than answers, and when someone works this hard to control their narrative, it usually means there is more to the story than meets the eye. So, where does the investigation into Hannah stand? In December, Child Protective Services and the Eugene Police in Utah launched an investigation after a video of her son flinching at his father went viral. This was just one of the many disturbing clips. Others showed her husband flicking their child's fingers away when he reached for food, Hannah denying him meals, and a pattern of troubling behavior that deeply concerned viewers. These videos were reported to CPS, but since then, there hasn't been any official updates. Some sources suggest that CPS investigations, especially those involving social media personalities, can take more time due to the complexity of verifying online allegations. While some believe that the lack of updates means there is nothing to be concerned about, others argue that silence doesn't necessarily indicate innocence. It could just mean authorities are still gathering information behind the scenes. At this point, all we can do is speculate. Do you think keeping her kids off social media is a step into the right direction? Or does it raise even more concerns about what could be happening behind closed doors? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, like and subscribe to stay updated on this story as it unfolds.